Hello, my name is Raven Peterson, sophomore psychology major from Dayton, Ohio, and today my video is dedicated to what I perceive sociological imagination to be. So, C. Wright Mills describes sociological imagination as the ability to be aware of your personal relationship in a relationship you have with the society. And that poses the question for me, what do I think sociological imagination is? And how do I perceive sociological imagination to be? But while those questions are in my mind, I also have to take a consideration of the definition that C. Wright Mills gives about sociological imagination. For me, personally, the sociological imagination is an act of not simply engaging in conversation, analysis, observation, and so on, with surface level consideration. And when I say surface level consideration, when you're engaging in sociological imagination, you're not going to just take a statistic that you are presented with as just a number. You want to get the basis. You want to get the history behind it. You want to get what demographic the statistic has come from, and etc. And when one engages in sociological imagination, they are throwing themselves into an adventurous yet daunting arena. And I label it as an adventurous journey because you're exploring and discovering different components of the society that you never thought to even think of before. And it is also daunting because you have to be consistent, and you have to have complete dedication, absorbance, in order to achieve the magnitude of the interrogation. And interrogation is a great word to use in describing sociological imagination, because in the interrogation of sociological imagination, you are constantly asking and questioning the existence and the reasoning behind a certain aspect of the society to get a complete and comprehensive perception of the society entirely. And it is also a chance to dig deeper into understanding something as simplistic as, let's say, basic math. The sociological imagination allows for the concept of basic math to expand across a sea of oceans, sea of wonderment. Let's dissect the concept of attending college as someone who's participating in sociological imagination. The questions that a person will ask is, what is it that makes going to college a worthy enough activity utilized in order to obtain education? What is it that the academically engaged scholar does in order to achieve the education a college promises? Why is a college education considered much higher than education obtained outside of a college? Where does this notion of a college education being the top form of education evolve from? And who made the decision that this was the top choice of education? And those are the questions that C. Wright Mills asks. Those are the questions that come with sociological imagination. And in addition to the deeper understanding aspect, the sociological imagination challenges its participants to think of how they themselves contribute to their environment and surroundings. It is not simply ourselves who individualistically contribute to our own personal lives. Everyone does something, and it also contributes and affects the lives of others. The sociological imagination provides a chance for us to take in consideration the historical events and the present events that play a part in how our society tends to operate. Your imagination is not limited, it's limitless, and so is your sociological imagination. You can surpass the present time and indulge in conversations that involve the future of the society that we exist in today. And sociological imagination is ultimately the ability to observe the world through a diverse lens. A lens that is not based on biases, stereotypes, beliefs, values, and so forth. And that's what makes it even more difficult when engaging in sociological imagination, because you have to put a cap or put your beliefs and values on the back burner while you're engaging in sociological imagination. And I think that is difficult. And overall, sociological imagination is a thinking that is limitless, with no limitations. And I think if everyone in the world possessed the ability to engage in sociological imagination, no one will want to take things for face value anymore. No one will just take the things that are happening around us as just like, oh, it's just happening. But we'll want to dig deeper, like, oh, this is happening because this happened in the past, and this just happened today, and then the things that are going to happen later in the future because of these events that happened then. And sociologists constantly engage and examine different parts of society in that way of thinking. And that is what makes sociology and sociological imagination so unique. Thank you for listening.